What is up, guys? It's your boy Fight Night's Finest, the sofa commentator here, but Relapse, doing a review on the Nonito Donaire fight against Rigondeaux.
That's right. We watched some HBO boxing tonight. What'd you think about the bout?
I think Nonito Donaire got his fucking ass handed to him. That's what I think. I predicted it all week. I didn't get to do a prediction video on it, but me and Teddy Atlas called it the same. Donaire was gonna come in aggressively. He was gonna get the shit counted out of him with that straight and that damn jab, working all up in his face the whole time, and that is exactly what ended up happening. And then, like me and you, the whole time was wondering, when is this guy gonna come in and try to throw some punches?
Yeah, like it was amazing to me how little that Donaire did. I made a review or a prediction video saying Donaire would win with his forward pressure, and it was weak sauce, to say the least.
Uh, I think pressure is not the word to define. I think he was scared. Once he caught that jab in a few straights from Rigondeaux and got countered every time he threw the jab, I think it really just scared him in order to try to come in and jump and try to take the fight back. But the craziest thing throughout the fight is his trainer sounded just like a fight night training game where
Yeah,
they tell you, oh, you're
terrible,
not
terrible
terrible help from
trainer.
his corner. They didn't know what to tell him. And surprisingly, this guy is supposed to be the trainer of the year. You don't know what to tell your fighter when he's in trouble.
Oh
I
yeah,
believe
that was Victor Ortiz's trainer too.
no wonder he ended up with a broken jaw. But
Yeah,
what was crazy was how you gonna sit there? I think it was around the seventh round, and his trainer's saying, "You got to do something. We got to figure something out." As his trainer, you're supposed to be advising him, watching, and telling him what to do. Cause I'm sitting here and I'm telling him what to do, even though he can't hear me. And
yeah.
when the 10th round came, and he decided to do that, he actually scored a knockdown, which is crazy. It's crazy how the viewers at home are better trainers and better judges of the scorecard than the people in the actual fight.
Yeah, like he scored that. It was the 10th round knockdown, flash knockdown from like a left hook. And that was the only round he won.
Out of the entire fight, and I
Yeah,
believe some judges scored 115 to 112,
which
and
is questionable.
Lenneman's daughter scored it 116 to 111, which is more in the right direction, but considering the fact he only won one 10 to 8 round, and every other round he was completely outboxed, completely outclassed. Uh, Rigondeaux's movement was on point defensively. He did everything he was supposed to. And what did you think about the crowd booing him?
It's definitely understandable. Uh, most boxing fans love a good knockout, but on that fight card, it was like every fight we watched on the undercard was like a first or second round knockout.
Yeah, the undercard was it was pretty good judging wise for the most part, and the knockdowns were really entertaining to watch. But the one fight that I wanted to make a comment on, I didn't catch the names for the fighter,
Oh
but one
yeah, I don't know the names either, but
it was
should know.
guy one guy was wearing I believe gold and red, and the other guy was wearing black and white, and he was pumping the shit out of him with that jab, and kept the jab in his face. Saw his head snapping back, delivered the combinations, well one or two combinations, while the other guy was railing and buckling over, and they ended up giving the fight to the guy with the gold trunks, and it was really ridiculous to see how the judges scored the fight in the favor of the guy with the gold trunks, considering how many times he got hit with the jab and how less effective his punches were.
Yeah, we were like shocked. Like it was pretty ridiculous. And because there's so much action, like that was a dirty brawl. And and then the main event was like a super technical uh outside fighting match that I remember you said you're like this looks like the Sergio Martinez and Chavez fight. And then I think Roy Jones Jr. said that exact same thing or something.
Yeah, and it happened in the almost the exact same events. Uh, Donaire decided to put his head down, which he should have did in the first place, get right in his chest and throw some punches and end up knocking him down. And that's what he should have done since like 7 rounds ago. I can understand you taking the first 3 rounds out to fill your opponent out, but it gets to a point where you have to say, okay, I got to put my head down and I got to go after this guy. When you can't outbox your opponent, The only other thing that you can possibly do is brawl and use your power and your speed to your best advantage. You were saying, I remember that you said he should have went in there and clinched him a little bit, throw a couple of jabs or throw a couple of shots to the body, and then try to make it a dirty fight and take him out of his element. Why do you think he didn't do that?
Because he couldn't catch that motherfucker. He's like the Nightcrawler from the X-Men or something. He just ducked down, used his footwork, and he was gone.
Yeah, that guy was running. But you see, the one thing I couldn't stand about the crowd is you're booing this guy. But when Ali did something like that, everybody just rose out of their
He's
seats.
the greatest of all time.
He's the greatest of all time for running and
Just
grabbing and
running.
ducking people's heads down. Uh,
Yeah.
he did it pure defense, just moving his head and blocking punches and slipping punches. But when Ali's grabbing and pushing somebody's head down and doing this fancy footwork, because he didn't do a shuffle, I guess that's why he didn't get the respect of the fans. But uh,
Even, he threw up the taunt at the end. It was like 12th round, like
mhm,
10 seconds left.
mhm.
He just
Yeah, and
taunted his ass.
yeah, what really surprised me is how aggressive he came in, uh, Rigondeaux that is, in the 12th round, and just tried to knock Donaire out, where he just came and blackened his eye, and from there he just kept applying the pressure. Uh, I believe the black eye occurred once he pulled him down. He kind of shook him up a bit, and then that straight that he landed perfectly on his eye, blackened his eye.
Yeah,
Really,
the perfect counter is like left straight right in the eyeball and dragged it down.
mm,
And Donaire was running after that, but I don't know why. Like, I remember on Friday Night Fights, fucking Teddy Atlas was like going to the kitchen and he got burnt, and then he
mm.
didn't want to go in the kitchen anymore. That's what
Yeah,
happened in the fight, but he should have. Like, I was wondering why he wasn't doing this. Like, it was amazing to me, but should have just bite down on the mouthpiece, like clinch him, and just throw haymakers. Like,
that's the only chance he pretty much had throughout the whole fight. Even towards the later rounds, he got caught a few times with a couple of counters, and it was kind of like the Tavara Cloud fight versus Bernard Hopkins. Your belt's on the line. It's the last round. You're backing the hell up, which I can't understand for the life of me. When you should be coming forward, this is your last and final chance. Your corner now decides to give you some good advice and tell you you need to be more aggressive, which they should have told him from the beginning. But I think it was just everything was bad for him throughout the fight. What did you just think about the post-fight interview with Donaire and his excuses?
well, yeah, he said that he didn't study.